Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Allinson down on the south coast, where the Saints have bounced back to winning ways, in fact 2 in a week with the Hearts Senior Cup in midweek. A 2-1 win away to Eastbourne Borough, our first win away to Eastbourne. Ian, last time we beat any Eastbourne side down on the coast was back in 1984, Eastbourne United. Long time coming, worth a wait.
Yeah, it has been, and it's, I think it was the 31st of October was our last win in the league, so it's been a long time coming, as we said. Too long really, but we have to live with them things. And I said earlier in the week, we've worked extremely hard on trying to keep clean sheets, but also try and put goals in it. Even first half today, the way we set up to try and put goals into it, but I felt defensively we're a little bit all over the place in terms of they were causing us problems with their shape. Though we started well, 10-15 minutes, as soon as they scored their goal, I felt we had an awful 15-20 minutes. We changed it quite quickly just to try and get a little bit more shape to us, and I felt after that, I felt we was totally in control until the sending off, and I felt quite comfortable second half. I felt there was more goals in it for us. I felt we were getting on top. I thought Zane was starting to cause them problems. The two wide men were causing them problems, and it's just a shame, the sending off. It's just really changed the game really, and the boys have done great though. They've put their necks on the line for the club today and the team, and they deserved it in the end to go and get the 3 points.
The sending off was Clovis Camjo. We were 2-1 up at the time. Did you get a good view of it?
Not really. I mean, they're saying, I spoke to the players in there, and they're saying that Clovis was pushed in the back, which was obviously made him go, and obviously it looks worse for me than what it was. But again, as I said before, you look away, the opposition have acted to the tackle. The lad didn't even receive treatment. We're on an AstroTurf. There was no sliding in. Yeah, his foot's off the floor, but you see the sort of studs they're playing here, and it wasn't an innocuous. It was an innocuous challenge rather than a deliberate challenge to go and win the ball in terms of hurting somebody. And it was just sad really, because I felt it changed the game and it gave them an opportunity to get back in the game where I couldn't see them getting back into the game.
As you say, we started well, went a goal down on 18 minutes when Cox scored. Things didn't look good for us for the next 20 minutes, finished the half well. And the funny thing is, the second half, when it was 10 against 11 for such a long time, we defended so well, and I thought Eastbourne's better chances actually came in the first half.
Yeah, I think you did right. I mean, they did open us up a few times, but as I said, our shape wasn't right, and we left some holes in areas which we shouldn't have done, and we needed to make sure them holes were plugged in terms of what we was doing. And once we managed to do that, as I say, and that was probably on around about the half-hour mark, and I felt after that for the next sort of 30-35 minutes until the sending off, we were totally in control. And as you said, we probably had a couple of chances just before half-time, and certainly in the second half we've had 3 or 4 really good chances. Took 2 of them. Lewis Knight should have scored with a header as well, just before he scored that. And I thought we would go on and win the game quite comfortably in the end. I thought we were really getting on top. We were looking sharp. We were looking on the front foot. But as I say, the sending off just changes the game slightly. Give them the extra body. They put an extra body up there. Played with their wide men really high and really wide, which causes a few problems. And to be fair, some of the quality they put in the box was excellent. And we were a bit fortunate not to concede in that period. But as I say, full credit to the players and to Dean, because they've all deserved a victory. As I say, we've conceded 1 goal today, but I felt Josh Urquhart coming at the back and was started off a little bit nervous. But once we got back to a decent shape, I thought he was great for us. He read the situations really well. He clears his lines well, and gave us that side of the game which we needed. And as I say, the one thing we've got to just go and do now is just try and clear 2 or 3 injuries up before the Wednesday game against Hemel, and obviously we've got Clovis still available, but we're losing for 3 games. That's from Saturday, which is a blow, because I thought he was immense in there today. He won his tackles, won his headers, and just getting back to again the fitness level, and we're losing for 3 games, so that's a shame from that side of it.
David Moyo got us back on level terms. He's been due a goal for a little while, I think. The shot was so soft, I think it's only just crossed the line.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to, on AstroTurf, as we said that before, sometimes you have to just be in them areas. The one thing about what was pleasing, he went in behind him today, and when he did go in behind him, he took his opportunity really well. And he needs it as well, like all forwards need goals, and we've been struggling, as we've said before, to score goals. I felt we were trying to be really positive today. Unfortunately, Sam Merson has gone down with tonsillitis first thing this morning, so it left us probably a little bit lightweight in the forward areas in terms of having a change on the bench. But coming in today, Tom Bender's fully fit now. It's amazing. He trained really hard on Tuesday, trained hard Thursday, and I could have put him back in today, but we've got a big big fortnight coming up, so I don't want to just risk him too much. But he's recovered really well in just under 4 weeks, so that's 3.5 weeks. He's recovered with 2 broken toes and a chipped metatarsal. So from that side of it's been great. But as I say, losing Sam today was a bit of a blow because it just left me a little bit lightweight on the bench. But I went for it with the 2 up front and Zane in the hole. Didn't really work for me in terms of where we was at times, but we caused them some problems. We even at 1-0 we still had, I think it was David Moore had a header, Lewis Knight had a couple of half chances, and David Noble had a shot which was passed back to him from Ben Wyatt, where he's actually gone straight to the keeper. So we did create some chances, but I didn't think there was really any penetration in what we was trying to do going forward. Once we made the changes, I felt there was more penetration, more width to our game, and I felt we started to cause them more problems.
You mentioned Lewis Knight there and the problems we've had up front. Well, there he was, centre half, comes up with a cracking volley to win the game.
Yeah, we should have scored with the header 5 minutes before that. So, and he had 2 chances in the first half. So, but again, it was a great volley, as I say. But we see him do that at Dulwich Hamley, where he hit the post with a volley from the set piece. So, no, as I say, I think the club needed it. As I certainly, it helps me in terms of my sleep pattern tonight and waking up tomorrow. I was feeling a lot better. But I think the players needed it as well, and the club needed it. Supporters have been excellent. They've been great in what they've done over the last few weeks. And it's a shame because we just really haven't had any continuity going now with this period. Now with the games coming thick and fast, I think we might get back on track in terms of what we're trying to do. These 2-week breaks hasn't helped us at all. We just seem to lose our way, lose our focus, and it takes us a bit while to go in. There's no coincidence that when we do play Saturday, Tuesday, we seem to hit more of a form, and our pattern of play seems to be a lot better than when we play every 2 weeks. So hopefully the next week or 10 days will give us a couple more wins. And as you say, I think we're sitting 2 points outside the playoffs now, so maybe 3 maximum. But we've just got to go and try and win as many games as we can, as quickly as we can, and get as many points on the board. But as I've said to you before, it's 3 points further away from relegation for me.
The win is obviously a huge boost going into Boxing Day game with Hemel Hempstead Town, but also the fact that today we were creating chances again, which we haven't been doing for a while.
No, we haven't. But as I say, we've looked long and hard at the amount of goals we were conceding. But again, we've changed some personnel today in terms of what we were looking to try and do. AstroTurf as well, so I've gone and put a lot of what I felt was the AstroTurf players today that would suit them in playing on this sort of pitch. But I didn't think we kept the ball very well first 20-25 minutes. I felt it was like a bit of a hot potato. It takes a while to get used to playing on here, and I felt they moved the ball quicker than us. I felt we gave it away cheaply. We gave the goal they got, we actually gave it well 30 yards out, which was poor when we had good possession of the ball, and we dilly-dallied on it a little bit, mispassed it, and before we knew where we were 1-0 down. And there's some of the things we have to keep working on, but as I said before, they're quite a young element in terms of the age of some of the players. Some have still got a lot of learning to do, and especially how to win games of football. But that last 20 minutes today was tough, and a lot of people have had to dig in really deep, work extremely hard for the football club. And as I say, it's great in the end that we can give the supporters and the players a victory which they've deserved, because it's been a long time coming.
This is one of the, well, not better, it's one of the good AstroTurfs, all-weather pitches, but we're back on the proper stuff on Boxing Day. Hemel Hempstead Town, they don't come much bigger than that.
No, it's going to be, and as I say, they've had a new manager come in, and he's made 1 or 2 changes himself. Obviously, they drew 1-1 today with Welling, so we know it's going to be a tough game. They've got some good players, they're a good side, local derby. We just got to make sure we turn up first and foremost, and I'm sure if you see the fight and the aggression and the pace and the power and the willingness to go and win a game of football like we did today, if you see that week in, week out, every week, people accept that. And I just think over the last few weeks we've been a little bit lame in terms of the way we've gone about our performances, and I'm not asking them to be aggressive. I'm not asking them to go and kick people up in the air. I just want us to go and press a little bit quicker, a little bit harder, and when we lose the ball we have to go and make sure that we get back in numbers, we defend first, and then we go and attack in numbers. And I felt we did that today. I felt we did it in terms in the last sort of 20 minutes against Hertford, but I felt the first half against Hertford wasn't good enough, and we had no shape about us, no organisation about us, and as I said, we've had to look long and hard about our shape, what personnel we was going to play today, and luckily enough it's come off, and we had to ride our luck, because 15-20 minutes in that first half we could have been out of the game.
Nice to return to winning ways and your 150th game as City manager, Ian. Reflections on your time in charge?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been great, David. As I say, we came in with a situation where it really was a hopeless situation we was in. We've managed to turn that round really last game of the season, and I think there's been progression over the last 2 years. This year seems to be a little bit slower than it has been the last 2 years, but I think there's an influx of big clubs in our league at the moment, and it's going to be tough to try and compete against some of these clubs. As I said before, and I'll keep saying it, we have to respect the owners in terms of the financial side of this football club, because they're looking to try and recite us in a 6,000 all-seater stadium, which would be fantastic. If we can pull it off, and that's probably going to be the next stage of what we want to do. So it is tough in terms of when you talk to players, and especially around our way, we've had some clubs spending a lot more money than what we've done over the past sort of 24 months. So when you get an opportunity to speak to a player and he becomes available, it really hasn't been in our ballpark of what we've been trying to do. So we've been trying to develop players. We've been trying to bring players in from clubs lower than us, and obviously trying to bring players in from clubs in the league below. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But we've just got to keep working extremely hard at what we're trying to do. I'm not saying as a football club we're any worse than what we've been in the last 2 years, but at the moment the results seem a little bit slower than what they've been in the last 2 years. The first year I think we had the bonus of the FA Cup. Last year we had the trophy run. This year we've had nothing, so it's been a little bit flat, I feel, over the last couple of weeks. But today will make a massive difference, and if we can go into the Hemel Hempstead game and pick some more points up, and then Billericay, I think everybody will have more of a smile on their face, feel a little bit happier about what we're trying to do, and then hopefully we can progress from that side of it. I keep saying to the players, they're good enough to make the playoffs. They've got to believe in themselves. I certainly believe in that changing room. I know Glenn believes in that changing room, but the players have got to start believing in themselves, and they've got to approach every game as if it's going to be a game that we've got to win to get into the playoffs. We can't have this consistency where we turn up for 2 or 3 games and then we have a little blip where we lose 2 or 3, because that's the reason why we're sitting in mid-table at the moment.
Thanks so much, Ian. Merry Christmas to you and your team on and off the pitch.
Thank you, David. And I wish all the supporters, yourself and everybody who's involved with the football club a really nice Christmas, and we'll see them all on Boxing Day. Lovely.
Cheers, Ian. As Ian mentioned there, Boxing Day, 1 o'clock kick-off, home to Hemel Hempstead Town, National League South. That's it. Have a good Christmas.